guitar lovers of the internet, Ollie here once again to talk about a very, very cool guitar. Normally I try and focus on brand new instruments, but this is a particularly cool guitar. I love Jackson guitars myself, and hell, I just wanted to talk about it. So, you are currently feasting your eyes on the Jackson Pro Series Mick Thomson SL2 Signature Soloist. Now, I believe this is a guitar that was released in 2018. The year is now 2020, so it's about 2 years old, and it's been making waves ever since it was introduced. The cool thing, is that Mick Thomson, Jackson have really been doing well with their family over the past couple of years. They've had a lot of artists, Marty Friedman, for example, that have come back to the family, and there's a lot of artists that should have been in the family a long time ago that have, of course, played Jacksons at the start of their careers and have always had them. So yeah, it's cool that Mick Thomson sort of came into the ranks. Of course, he has had signature models with a couple of other brands, and now it's I like to think it's come full circle, and hopefully he'll be staying here with Jackson because his guitar is just so damn cool. There is a USA version that you can get. There is a particularly cool, I think it was called Deep Blood Metallic or Red Blood Metallic or something, which I actually saw in front of me at Jackson Guitars Australia last year. Incredible, comes in a flight case and all that. But for us mere mortals, this is the affordable Pro Series version. And it's killer. It's really cool. It feels much like I've got my, this is my USA to 2000s-ish. It's a USA SL2H Soloist in lovely yellow Bengal finish. The necks are very, very similar. This is actually the biggest standard, this is the biggest neck that any standard production model Jackson has ever had as far as I'm aware. We'll get into that soon. So yeah, obviously, my USA guitar is a little bit nicer, you can tell the subtleties, but for the price, which I think is around the sort of $1,500 to $1,700 mark here in Australia, it's great. Can't beat it. So, on this guitar, we have a mahogany body, which I think is quite typical for a lot of these metal guitars, which are ideally tuned down. Mahogany does give us sort of like a lower, boomier, crunchier sort of sound. Yeah, and of course, Mick Thomson usually isn't going to be playing this guitar in E standard. For the case of the demo today, it is in drop D, but low tunings is where he lives, which is why this guitar, of course, is designed for that sort of stuff. So that is the body wood. We've also got a maple through neck design. But before we get up here, let's stay down here first. So we've got a three-way pickup selector, which allows us to have either our neck, a middle selection for both, or a bridge pickup selection. So no, this is not the most versatile guitar in the world. I don't have a push-pull or anything, just a single volume control. But you're not getting this guitar to be like your Charvel DK24 or Ibanez AZ. This is a modern metal riff machine. That's all it's built to do, and it does it very, very well, might I say. In terms of the pickups, this is a set of Mick Thomson's signature Seymour Duncan Blackout pickups. They are designed specifically to be great for keeping things clean and not muddy when we have lots of gain going at it, and also tuned down. What is interesting is that the neck pickup is an Alnico 5 magnet, whereas the bridge pickup specifically uses is ceramic, not using that Alnico 5, because those materials do give you different characteristics. And I imagine when Mick's really going for it in the bridge position, he needs something that's aggressive and is tight, and when he's in the neck, probably doing cleaner stuff or solo work, that Alnico 5 magnet's really going to help it, shine through, which it does. people look at this guitar and they see this Floyd Rose looking bridge and they get turned off. They say, I don't want a Floyd, I'm going to break a string live and it's going to be a nightmare. Not the case with this. This is something very, very interesting because if I turn it around, bam, you'll see there isn't actually a Floyd cavity. So this is something that I believe Mike Shannon helped him design it. Mike Shannon, of course, being the master builder at the Jackson Custom Shop. It's called the MTB HT6. So I assume that means Mick Thomson bridge. HT6 indicating it's a hardtail and it's a 6-string. So essentially what it is, you get the tuning stability benefit of a Floyd Rose style bridge with a locking nut up here. But you can make those fine-tuning adjustments if you need to, similar to a Floyd Rose bridge. So yeah, I think it comes in really, really handy. There's actually a video that we got of Mick Thomson talking about this guitar when it was debuted at NAMM, and he was saying he thinks it actually makes the guitar resonate a lot more, be a lot louder, which, like, if I give it a strum even just acoustically, I don't know if you can hear that, but it certainly does sort of pack a punch, which no doubt when you put thicker strings on it like he does, that's only going to make it beefier, louder. So yeah, that's the bridge. Don't worry, don't get scared about, Floyd looking things if you're not too experienced. It's purely for the tuning stability and having the adjustment to make those fine tune adjustments. That's the body. This is the, I think it's called Arctic White finish, which is very nice. It's a gloss with your black binding, which goes all the way up the neck into the headstock. It is also available in gloss black with white binding, but generally I think the white one is a lot more popular. Maybe people have had enough of black metal guitars, so it's sort of nice to have some color in there. That is the body. Ooh, before we go on, I'll get a close-up shot of this. As they are Mick Thomson signature pickups, it's difficult to see, but on the side of the pickups we do have 7. Which is associated with Mick Thomson. I believe he had a 7 inlay on one of his previous signature guitars as well. So that's cool. So as I mentioned before, we have a maple through-neck design on this guitar. I love a good gloss neck and I love a big neck, which is exactly what this is. Don't get this if you're, a fan of an Ibanez Super Wizard neck or something. It's not the guitar for you. This is something that you can really wrap your hand around, really beat and go for it. Coupled with the jumbo frets that we have, which are 24 of them, it's just a guitar from hell. It's a riff machine. So yeah, what is interesting is we do have, of course we don't have inlays, which is very, very classy. I'm a fan of that. Really allows you to appreciate the beauty of the ebony fretboard. What is quite unique is the sort of rectangular side dots on the side of the guitar. I imagine that's because, he needs to be able to see them. They are quite distinctive. Don't think they glow in the dark, but your eyes are going to be able to see that, especially if it's dark. I feel like the white and vice versa, the black and that opposite color is going to work nicely. So yeah, it's a very nice looking guitar. It's a very simple guitar. That's the interesting thing. Like, I feel like when I'm talking about Charvels or modern Ibanez guitars, they've got a million different specs. This switch does that and a million different positions, but it's just that plug in and play sort of guitar, which is what I love. There's nothing too complicated to do with it. It's just for that modern player that, they know what they want to do. And like I said, it's going to let them do it quite nicely. Moving up the fretboard, but before I get there, I just remembered. The compound radius fretboard in this guitar is quite important, as that is sort of something that Jackson pioneered in the 80s. So basically the radius, for those of you that don't know, is how curved or flat the fretboard is. So if you can imagine, like, a classical guitar has a completely flat fretboard, I should say, whereas, you know, electric guitars have more curved fretboards. So what this 12 to 16 compound radius fretboard basically means, down here it is ideal for chords and for riffs. It's a little bit more curved so you can wrap your hand around it. As we go up the fretboard, it gradually turns into a 16-inch radius. What that means is that it flattens out, which allows you to more easily play all of your lead parts. Yeah, I think that probably has to do with, you know, the angle of your hand and how it all sits. I don't know the physics or science behind it. All I know is that it works, and that's why I have and always will love Jackson guitars, besides how cool they look. Now that we're done talking about that fretboard, as I mentioned, we do have a locking nut on this guitar, which is paired with the Floyd Rose style bridge. So yeah, I love the idea, to be perfectly honest. You know, there's nothing worse than getting on stage, you know, you've been backstage, it's a little bit cooler there. All of a sudden you're on the hot stage lights, people are sweating, and strings are out like that. So yeah, short of going for something like an Evertune, which, you know, maybe they'll make in one of the near future, that's a good way to go. Headstock, we love a good reverse headstock on guitars. Especially, I think, you know, this iconic 6-in-line pointy Jackson headstock, it really just does look great. The fact that the headstock is matching as well with that black Jackson logo, black binding, it's killer. What more can I say? Jackson branded tuners. No need for locking tuners because we do have the that Floyd style on here. And yeah, you should know as well that this guitar is crafted in Indonesia. Generally with Pro Series instruments from Jackson, unless it's a Dinky or a select other couple of models, it generally is made in Indonesia. So yeah, Dinky's made in the Mexican factory. I don't have an issue with, I haven't had issues with the quality of the craftsmanship, I should say. I toured around the world for a number of years with a Pro Series RRT3, that classic, you know, ivory with the black pinstripes and gold hardware. It didn't fail me once, you know. We beat that thing. I was playing in a black metal band, so it wasn't the cleanest of conditions. Always came out great, always sounded great as well. So yeah, I think more so it's about the actual features that guitars have nowadays, because, you know, we've got so many boutique brands. We've got the Kiesels of the world, we've got the Solar guitars coming out, we've got the Ormsbys. So these sort of bigger brands, they do need to make their more affordable models still at a certain standard. So I wouldn't be worried about that. What I would be worried about is getting your hands on this beautiful guitar and just going for it. Whilst I do remember, one of the unique features on this guitar in terms of Jackson is that I've got like a barrel style jack on the edge of the body here. Typically Jacksons will have your dish style, but of course this is similar to Ibanez guitars basically. Basically it's positioned here so that when it plugs in it can be tucked in directly to your strap, which means that basically you're not going to step on it on stage or anything like that. So yeah guys, very very simple guitar, built to riff, built to make you sound absolutely mean, brutal, and meant to make your riff sound absolutely huge. What is fun as well, I discovered, when you do find the sweet spot, every guitar has one, you can do some absolutely mean pinch harmonics on this guitar. Let's see if I can conjure some up. That's the one. Perfect for all your dime bag riffs as well. So yeah guys, I'm a huge Jackson guy. I love Jackson guitars myself, so naturally I'm going to absolutely love this guitar when I pick it up, and hopefully you reckon it looks good, hopefully you reckon it's got the features you're looking for, and most importantly it's going to give you the sound that you're expecting to get when you plug in this brutal guitar. So this is once again the Jackson Pro Series Mick Thomson Signature SL2 Soloist in Arctic White, which is also available in gloss black as well. So feel free to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching the video. You can even subscribe if you want to see more in future, and make sure to let me know what you want to see in future, because there's a lot of exciting stuff out there. So thanks for checking in guys, this has been Ollie, I'll see you next time.